If you clicked on this video, you probably suck at dodging. But don't worry, because in the next 9 minutes, I'm gonna teach you everything about dodging in Brawl Stars and how you can improve instantly. The last step is the most crucial of them all, and without it, nothing else matters. So stick to the end and you'll be dodging like Tensai in no time. I divided this video into 5 steps from beginner to advanced. So let's go. The first step is to learn about the brawler's movement speed and hitbox. First, brawlers have different movement speeds. This is a list of every brawler classified by their movement speed. As you can see, there are 5 types. The faster the movement speed of a brawler is, the better you can dodge with that particular brawler. But depending on how slow it is, the opponents can auto-aim you. This means that in more open maps, slower brawlers can't take cover and they end up being shot down. So for dodging, the faster a brawler is, the better. Second, brawlers also have different hitboxes. If you don't know what a hitbox is, it's basically the area that your brawler covers on the map. This is a list of every brawler classified by their hitbox. The larger the hitbox, the easier it is for the opponent to hit their shots against you. So for dodging, ideally, you should pick a brawler with a small hitbox. Okay, now with that out of the way, it's time to deep dive into the second step, which is why you're probably here. Let's analyze every single movement type and show you guys how you can use them in your matches. There are 4 basic movement types in the game: dodging in a straight line, preemptively changing directions, swaying left and right without committing to a side, and then visualizing the enemy's projectile and reacting to them. The first pattern is similar to how bots walk in the game. Bots are programmed to win the match, so they have a goal in mind and they walk towards it with simple straight movements. For example, in Brawl Ball, they just get to the ball and try to score. Believe it or not, this is how most beginners walk as well. The problem with this pattern though is that it's the most predictable. So if the opponent aims where you're headed, they can easily hit you. But the upside to this is that if the opponent is auto-aiming or aiming behind you expecting that you'll change directions, they can't hit you. The second pattern is basically predicting that the enemy will shoot at you and changing direction before it happens. This pattern does well if the opponent is trying to lead their shots expecting you to move in a straight line. But if the opponent auto-aims or shoots behind you, you will get hit most of the time. Now the third pattern is making small sudden movements but staying at the center. I call it swaying. So swaying is really good against better players just because they will anticipate you to commit to either the left or the right side. Thus, they will try to shoot either in front of you or behind you. But if you're using this pattern against bad players that mostly auto-aim their shots, you will get hit. And the fourth pattern isn't really a pattern. You basically see the shot coming, you visualize the trajectory of it, and then you dodge it. This is easier said than done though. It requires intense focus at the game, plus some great reaction times. There's also a secret fifth one, which is called lag walk. You basically stop moving at random times, which makes it kinda hard for the enemy to predict where you wanna go next. This should not be used consistently as a pattern though. Instead, you should use it when you need to calculate the max distance of your shot. Alright, now let's see how we can use all of these patterns in our matches. When you're dodging, you want to be using a combination of the first 3 patterns alongside with the 4th and 5th one. The first 3 are basically mind games, so try to read your opponent's mind and anticipate their shooting patterns. This is a graph indicating what you should do depending on the opponent's shooting pattern. If you're playing at max range, lag walking is really important and it helps to not overstep into the opponent's range by accident and get shot. But if you're good at reacting though, and your reaction times are low, you should depend on visualizing and reacting more. In fact, visualizing the enemy's projectiles is so important that you also need it for our third step. Here we will focus on dodging specific brawlers like Spike's curveball or Grom's attacks. But before that, a lot of people may need this guide, so do me a favor and smash that like button and share it with your friends to help the algorithm recommend it more. Now let's see how we can dodge specific attacks. The problem for new players is that they haven't practiced visualizing the trajectory of every shot. Hence, they can't find the safe spot when they're being hit. So let's find that together, shall we? I'm gonna cover these brawlers on your screen right now, and there are timestamps below if you want to skip to a specific one. Piper and Brock shots are harder to dodge at max range, but easier if you're closer to them at mid range. Don't go too close though, as they can auto-aim and hit you pretty easily. New players find it really hard to dodge Grom shots, but they're actually easy to dodge as well. Here you can clearly see what happens when the Grom bombs explode. So the safe spots that you should be looking for are here. Leon and Bo's main attacks are different from the rest of the brawlers. They depend on the opponent's movement. If they move to their right while shooting, they're doing a spread attack, which is not accurate but covers more ground. In that case, try to move back and out of their range. If they're moving to the left though, they're doing a more concentrated attack, trying to accurately hit you. In that case, you can easily dodge their attacks by reacting to them. Six mines cover a lot of ground and they can be really annoying, but this is the pattern of them. So you need to stay in these safe spots to not get hit. It's pretty scary if you end up being in the middle though. And lastly, with Spike, he has 2 star powers that he can use. Curveball is the hardest one to dodge, but here you can see what happens when the spike ball explodes. So these zones are the safe spots, and these 2 are the ones that you will be using most of the time. So master these first, and then if you want to, try mastering the other ones as well. But a lot of people are too focused on learning how to dodge the curveball, and when they face a spike that doesn't use curveball, they're screwed. They walk into every single one of his shots. So here are the safe spots for this one as well. Okay, these are all friendly games. In a real match though, there are a lot of other things that you should have in mind. So in this 4th step, I'm gonna give you some general tips and tricks to improve your dodging abilities in real matches. I haven't mentioned this so far, but if you haven't already, go ahead and change your joystick side to the smallest that you can. That way you can make rotations and small movements much easier because your fingers don't have to move as much. See guys, bigger is not always better, trust me. Second, you should try understanding the enemy's reload and unload speed. If, for example, you're facing against the Piper, you know that if she unloads all of her shots, it will take some time for her to reload them back. But that's not the case if you're facing against the Bee, for example, because she only has 1 shot. But knowing the time it takes for her to unload her next shot can help you be more prepared to dodge it. Third, turn the sound on, except when someone is playing melody. The human brain reacts faster to sounds than to images, so hearing an opponent's shot can help you dodge it faster. Now 4th, where should you look at while dodging? The ideal place to look is at your brawler. That way you can react faster than if you were looking at their brawler. Plus it will help you commit to the side that you're about to move. And lastly, I'm gonna give you 2 tips that helped me a lot on real matches. If you're low and you want to take cover behind a wall, but you know they're gonna shoot close to the wall, change directions when they shoot. And if you're in a bush and they're trying to scout you, stand where the opponent's shot last. It's not likely that they will shoot at the same spot again. These 2 are a little bit risky, but most people fall for them. Okay, I saved the best for last, so those of you who stayed until the end are lucky, because now we're gonna talk about what approach you need to take when practicing your dodging. The first thing you can do is play some friendly matches. This is really useful when you need to learn a specific brawler's projectile. Let's say that you want to learn how to dodge B, for example. First, play a brawler that has a very fast movement speed. Once you feel comfortable dodging B shots with a very fast brawler, pick a brawler that has a normal movement speed. And once you master that as well, if you have the guts, try playing with a slow speed brawler. Skip this step if you get frustrated easily though. I don't want you to smash your phone or something. And the second thing they can do, surprisingly, is to play solo showdown. Be aware that this comes from a 3v3 main. In this clown mode, there are a lot of teamers. So if you go against them all, you will be put in a position that you need to dodge multiple shots from multiple enemies pinching at you. Trust me, it will help you a lot and you will have a better game sense and a deeper understanding on what to do when you're getting pinched at 3v3s. And lastly, there are 2 types of grip styles. Playing like a normal human being and playing a claw grip. The advantage of playing claw is that you can press your gadget while aiming, but you need to relearn dodging and aiming because it's gonna feel unnatural when you're first trying it. You can also try playing with your device placed on your desk. This is all up to you. And that's it! Congrats on Nico and VF48 for being the first 2 members of my channel. Join them for exclusive perks. And if you want to learn how to aim as well, I recently made a detailed guide about it, so hopefully I'll see you there.